It has been super nice. We had great group of guys, different kind of pressure on the tee pad. I was telling myself to stay on the fairway and make a birdie, but bogey this time, maybe better tomorrow.
I'm just staying focused. I'm not letting the emotions kind of get ahead of myself. I think 11 under would be enough. I'm just looking to stay in those double-digit range and take this thing down.
Obviously, the game plan out here is to not get any bogeys. It happens, and just to not let it affect you, I think is the best thing. I don't know. I'm just kind of taking it one shot at a time.
I think I'm pretty much going to stick with my game plan. There's not really a hole on the course that I'm, playing for par. I'm pretty much attacking every hole out there. I like to keep that going, stay aggressive, and hopefully stay clean.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second half of the 2023 PDGA Champions Cup presented by Bushnell. We are here in Appling, Georgia, and we have had an incredible performance from our cards so far. It's been amazing to watch. Isaac Robinson has been kicking butt. Paul Ulibarri, Jeremy Koling, and we've got some disc golf to talk about.
Yeah, first major of the year, and man, have they put on a show. Isaac Robinson, the fact that there's a second on that and it's the birdie rate is mind-blowing to me. I don't know how that makes sense. First and all the other things, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's been pretty clean sailing so far.
But yeah, but his second place is because of this kid. Birdie percent, very high.
Silas Schultz slithering through the woods yesterday, bringing down the Heat course record 12 under par, throwing bombs down the middle of the fairway. Niklas Anttila has gone on runs at this event. He has looked so comfortable, so solid, smooth, controlled turnovers. And I wasn't even talking about this guy when I said that. This is the only experienced major champion on our card. He hasn't missed a putt in the circle. And he's given himself a lot of looks in the circle. So that statistic says a lot because he is putting the disc down the fairway.
Yeah, he is. Hole 1 is one of the easier holes on the course to get started. Par 4, 660 to the pin, slightly right to left. Plays is really a straight shot to start. Pick your choice left or right, and then you got two main gaps, one left, one right to get into the pin.
In the lead at minus 22 from Lawrenceville, Georgia, Isaac Robinson.
Moving day is really when the nerves start to show. Is Isaac going to continue this smooth, controlled performance, or are we going to start to see a little nerves show up in this native Georgian? And if there are any nerves, it's not going to be seen here. Oh, that's a little left. He keeps going on the left side with the right side hyzer, just missing the stability by a bit.
Yeah, once you get to that left side, it's really pinched off. It's going to be tough for him to get into birdie range. You can get to about 60, which he's pretty dangerous from there. Let's see what Silas does. He's going down that right side, all hyzer the whole way. I do like the shape of this.
He's pushing this straighter. This has nothing but greatness behind it. That's sets up a really nice hyzer second shot.
All right, man, you got enough of that water bottle. That's for sure.
Slayback. I saw some people in the comments. He used to caddy for Gannon. What's going on? And I asked Gannon yesterday. I said, "What's going on with Schleibach?" He said, "He's a lead card caddy. That's what he does."
Makes sense.
Yeah. Niklas also going the hyzer route, and this is flipping up even straighter, it appears. And yeah, that's actually pretty similar. It's on the left side of the fairway, which really opens up a good second shot. I think Silas and Niklas are going to love their shots.
One thing you like to see with a veteran like Conrad is how calm he's going to be this round. He knows how to get himself in position at these tournaments. One thing you can watch is just the way that he reacts to some bad kicks, some great shots. It's all going to be the same for him.
Yeah, for sure. And this is the straightest one of the bunch. He's going to have options from there. Niklas is actually going to access this left side hyzer forehand route. Oh no. Man.
Early mistake there.
Pretty routine shot from Niklas. James is going to push it through the widest gap, not necessarily the close, not in line with the pin, but I don't think James was trying to park it. I think he was just trying to get in the circle, where he has had great success. Isaac just pitching out. That's going to be, I don't know, back edge of C2. He has kind of struggled on this first hole. I don't think Isaac has had one birdie on this hole. And Silas, after the great tee shot, only person really in birdie range is James Conrad, the savvy veteran. And good approach there. And Isaac will continue his par streak on hole 1. At fairly easy starting hole. Oh, Silas almost recreating the magic he had on hole 9 yesterday. Huge starting putt just off the rim. And Conrad for an opportunity to gain a stroke on the card. And he connects.
That's going to be the only birdie on the card. That's a great start for James. Take the box early, feel comfortable, put a little pressure on these guys.
Yes, it does. This is a young card. I mean, James, obviously the oldest by, I don't know. I don't know how old the rest of the card is. But
100?
By quite a bit, but not just in years on Earth, but just on years on tour. And all those things do add up at a certain point.
Yeah, our least experienced player here is Silas, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does, especially on these starting holes. It looked like no nerves on the first one, but once we get to that back 9 is when it really sets in, when the second, third card starts making their push, which they will. See how he handles that. Pretty tight race right now.
On to hole 2. Fairly easy par 3, second easiest hole on the course. This is just a straight shot that just needs the ever so slightly bend left. Avoid these trees here that create essentially the only gap of the hole here right at the creek, and then just slide your way into the C1, take your birdie and move on to the much more difficult hole 3. James, that was way too tight. Does he get away with it? Oh, he does. He does. That was skinny. It's going to find himself just outside C1.
That's the width you want. This might leak over to that where James is kind of.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good. I mean, you're on this card, you're putting pretty good this tournament.
This is wide. Yeah, just didn't quite catch that hyzer angle at the end of the flight, but putting nonetheless.
Kind of tough to do on this hole, really. To get to right side of circle 1 is a tough shot. That means it.
You don't see many.
No.
Not extraordinary results so far for our lead card here on the second hole. This is one that we normally see pretty routine star frames. And not going to see 4 birdies this time as Niklas comes up short. Silas, good effort. Just a bit low, but right on line. And James off the right side. How does that not stick? Is it just too far right?
Yeah. Looks like it just barely
Oh,
pushes out.
boy.
He's about an inch from catching right there.
That's a 90%er. And maybe not 90, but those seem to, when they hit the cage, it seems like the cage draws them back in, just not to be that time for James. And
Yeah, let's call it 70-30.
yeah, I feel like that's a fair percentage. That was a little bit dramatic.
What I do like is the way that he reacted to it. Just picked up his mini, walked away.
Well,
He knows.
that's because there wasn't a stump nearby for him to kick. It's a Reddit joke. People like to make fun of James Conrad's overreactions, which have never, ever happened. Very cool, calm, and collected, as you all know. Isaac able to get the birdie on 2 and regain that stroke that he, I guess, quote unquote, he lost to James on the first one. On to hole 3, par 4, 726 feet uphill, dogleg right, and then a bend to the left. This is one of the harder holes to birdie on the course. Very specific landing zones. Basically, players are going to either play up short or they're going to try to go for the big anhyzer and try to really cut off a lot of distance. And Isaac's kind of going for that middle play. No, that's kind of that's where his sidearms usually land. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the short. But that opens up, like you're talking about in round 1, that opens up a really full second shot.
Yes. I like the shape of it coming in. Able to get a faster driver to push straight for a long period of time. This is a bad kick. Straight for a long period of time, and then when it gets its stability, it really opens up the gaps a bit more, rather than being close, fast, makes the gap smaller. So I like what he did there. This has some juice. If it just barely sneaks in front,
Yeah. Yep.
that's still a little bit tight, but it opens up the hyzer.
Mm-hmm.
I like that spot.
It's amazing how just a couple of feet on this hole really change that strategy for the second shot.
And
Niklas,
that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a good kick. He'll have that full shot we were talking about. Watch how this goes hyzer, flips up to straight, almost doesn't. So he's going to be taking on those trees right there.
And he takes them on pretty well.
Yeah, he gets in front of him.
Yep. About just inside 40 feet left for the birdie. James, really not much you can do from that angle at all. So he's just going to put himself back into position. That should be a relatively easy short putter to the pin for the par. This is looking pretty good. Again, challenging those trees, splitting them, and get yourself right there at the edge of the circle.
This is better. Now he can go all hyzer, but the same thing, you got to watch out for those guardians that everybody's taking on.
Yeah, that one was pushing the backside, but look at this result.
Very good.
The only one inside the circle, Silas, dissecting the hole very well. James actually not in a routine easy par save, and not at all. I actually thought he was about another 100 feet up the fairway. Pretty tricky spot if you're not in just the right place. Ooh, that was a pretty skinny shot for James to get up there to save his bogey. Good birdie.
Those are the ones you really want to make circle's edge. If those are going in routinely, like that one.
Oh, our camera guys didn't even have a chance to get into position, Isaac, so fast.
No need to. Let me commentate on it. It was dead center.
Wow. And just like that, the young guys strike back with birdies on hole 3. Only a quarter of the field able to take the birdie on this one. Pretty high percentage of pars. On moving day, couple of good scores in there. Calvin Heimberg 6 down through 9.
All of us at Bushnell are excited to be here for the Champions Cup and very proud to have been a part of this since day one. We want to say thank you to the players and the fans for supporting the event and joining with us to push the sport forward.
Very technical short par 3 on hole 4, 327 feet. The play is to just miss this left pine tree, scooting forward towards the back edge of the fairway with something overstable and just trying to hit the ground and skip and somehow find your way through all these trees down here. We've seen Isaac do it a couple times. Can we see him do it a third time? He's going with his A2, and that does beat the corner, and that does get through everything, and it cheekily skips around those trees as well. That's a bullseye.
That's the one you want to miss. Very easy to pull this one to the right. Like you said, they're trying to miss barely on that left side. Tendency is to pull it to the right side, aim at that left side, pull it barely, and get through, just like Niklas did right there.
I always love watching the ground play on this hole specifically because it has to do so many fun little things to miss those trees, and more often than not, it does.
That's as good as you can do right there. Let's see if he can get the good ground play. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty good. Right side is I guess the better side to kick to if you're Silas. Left side, very tricky. Essentially, he's got the same shot now, just a lot shorter, and that gap has opened up more.
Yeah, just like any woods course, it's better to be off by a bit than a little bit. Like you said, squares the tree up, and then he's able to have a shot in there. But that's a bogey. That's going to hurt.
Especially the other three here in the circle. James continuing his C1 ways.
That's a great get, especially after the bogey on the previous hole.
Once again, man, our league cards have just been bouncing back after bogeys here, and it's been cool to see. I mean, everyone is so focused. I feel one of the things that really separates the great players and the good players here at WR Jackson is having a very short memory, staying focused, and resetting before you go to the next hole. If you take anything from the prior holes with you to the next one, this place can snowball fast and it can become a nightmare.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great strategy for major championships right there, and the only one you can have.
Yeah, I mean, if you just can't be a hothead out here. You have to remain poised. And it's good everywhere, but majors, it really seems to serve the player the best because that's happening all out there on the course. I guarantee you, people are starting to get impatient.
Hole 5, par 3, 432, dead straight. Not much to explain here. Straightest disc, longest disc that goes 3 or 400 about. Lands there, scoots right up there to the basket. Surprises us how well these guys hit this gap, but when you're on the lead card, you're dialed. And this is normally what happens right here.
Oh,
that's a great
close.
shot, though. Misses by what, 5 inches on a 7-foot gap. That's pretty good.
Brutal kick to go left. Left is the side you must avoid here. Niklas just once again, I mean, surgical.
Yeah, but the difference between that and Isaac's is
inches.
They're both great shots.
Isaac hasn't had a bogey since hole 11, first round. And James hasn't had a bogey since 2 holes ago. And he's going to be in danger of getting another one because that is a tough early kick right.
This looks good. Flip a little. Even if it doesn't, get backside left. Give him a kick. Come on.
Sure.
No kick, but
guess who will take that one 8 days of the week?
Hand up.
Yeah, hands up. And if your hands aren't up at home, your hand should be up too because you're loving that.
Yes. Ooh.
James, again, having some troubles here on hole 5 and not an easy up and down at all from here.
Jeez, that's
Play
good.
catch the basket. Oh my gosh. What a shot.
Wow, that is good. Let's watch his arm stop right here. Talk about control. any more follow through, and his arm hits that tree back there. Doesn't care, stops it, almost makes it.
Seemed like eerily familiar. Envy in the hands, turnover putter. Look at Isaac's little checkup throw. Yeah, edge of circle. That's a fine result from off that left side. That left side can be just, you can just lose all creativity over there. There's very little scramble opportunities.
Yeah, good distance to check and see where his mental is as Isaac just chains out, because this is an important putt right here.
Oh, yes. Silas chains out. Isaac does not. Isaac saves the par. Great left side catch. That'll help soothe the nerves. And that does not. Tough one to take there after the really nice drive. That might be the first time we've really seen the Pine Straw really come and play with that speedy ground play. He even chained out on his putt, but still had enough pace behind it that it made its way all the way to the back edge of the circle. Meanwhile, Niklas just taking a huge birdie here on 5. Second hardest hole on the course.
So fun to watch him play. A lot of experience from Niklas at the highest level. We saw him at the USES last year, end of the year, but so much experience at the highest level. I promise you.
Yeah.
Finnish championships, European championships.
The guy
Niklas,
yeah,
that's as much pressure as here or any tournament. That means everything to them, and he's won.
Yeah,
at those levels.
Totally, and he's done it for a long time. In fact, I feel like COVID couldn't have come at a worse time, because that was when he was really starting to emerge as the player that we know now. And for the longest time, the only thing that we ever saw of Niklas was just online videos, because we couldn't go over there. They couldn't come over here. And it's just a pleasure to have him on tour in the States and really be able to see his skill on full display. That's just making the gap as big as possible. Just coming up 20 feet short.
That's a landing zone for this hole to throw it perfect. You're not going to park it. You're going to be to the right side. That means you didn't take on any trees, and you're going to be about 30 feet.
Isaac is taking on some trees, actually going through the inside.
Same result. Short. That plays as a 32, 34 footer up the hill.
Let's see if James can keep this bounce back percentage strong for our lead cards.
He's going to have to get lucky through there. He does, and that's going to be parked.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a birdie here from James. Unless his hair gets caught in the cage. I think he's got himself a nice one.
Yeah, watch him split these two trees on the left side right there.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the only way to get it all the way to the pin and park it.
I thought he was clean the whole way, but yeah, he did. Wow. Silas, after back-to-back bogeys, he's going to need something good here, and that is not what he was looking for. Things going in the wrong direction right now for Silas.
Got a long look here, though. Not even trying.
Yeah. There's plenty of holes here on the front 9 to get things back to where he needs it. And he just had an incredible back 9 yesterday.
Just outside the circle. Deal.
What a start. 4 through 6, just
a little off. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, just a little bit off. It wasn't that great of a putt. Neither was his par save in the previous hole. Doesn't matter.
Oh, give me that. There you go.
4 in a row. Watch out. This guy gets on hot streaks.
Yeah, he likes to get birdies in bunches.
He just look at his hand like, what's wrong with you? Did you see that?
Yeah.
He checked his hand out, making sure everything's fine. I think things are fine, Niklas. You're 4 under through the last 4. 3 birdies on the tricky hole 6. Well done. Let's see what happens there. Just more Isaac Robinson just being just steady, steady, steady. And we've got Eagle McMahon making some moves.
Matty O 7 through 10.
It's moving day, folks, and that means you're going to see the best of the best bring it out here, especially in a major championship as we fly over The 7th hole, Paul, describe why is a major important? Like, why should people care about a major championship?
Well, it's the pressure that the whole world puts on them. And we put them on a pedestal. And when you put something on a pedestal, that these are the ones that make your career, that make it. It puts you in the conversation as greatest of all time. And without those, you just won't ever be mentioned. So with those things, we practice for that one reason. We want to be the best. We want to win the biggest tournaments on the biggest stage. Well, here you go. The stage is set. And so it's put on by sports, you know?
Yeah, the culture of sports definitely brings that. Because, I mean, a lot of players who are out here today, as Niklas does a great shot, Isaac, man, that little root didn't hurt him too much. He's still going to have an approach. Like, people are out here for different reasons. You know, some people are out here for legacy. Some people are out here because disc golf is a lot of fun and they found a way to make money doing what they like to do. And, you know, the prestige is really important in sports. Yeah. And the major championships are the way that ultimately a lot of our careers are judged.
It's very rare that you see somebody win a major championship who came out here and said, I'm just doing it because I want to make a little money and have fun.
Yes.
You're going to get
totally
whipped by somebody who's like, no, I want to be one of the best ever.
Yeah. Isaac, going the flex play, does this have enough stability? It does not get back. So he's going to have pretty easy pitch up to the pin, uphill slope from there.
And the pressure that it puts on you is, wow, that's a skinny cap that James just threw, and to even get to that spot, that's a makeable putt up the hill. That's very good to get there.
If there's one person that can really, I think, embody why majors are important, it's James Conrad. Has only won a few events on tour. Idlewild, MVP, and then the 2 majors. Those are his 4 wins, I think. I don't think I'm missing any others. He's obviously been
in the mix
at a ton, but those 2 wins alone put him in consideration as Niklas hits early tree as one of the best ever. He won the 2 biggest majors.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's self-inflicted pressure that people put on themselves. Like, I can't imagine what somebody like Calvin or Matty O is feeling at these tournaments because Calvin's been playing better than anybody all year. But if you watched his post-round interview, he said, this is the one thing I need.
Yeah.
And that extra pressure put on yourself makes things harder. But it also, once he will, and I believe Calvin will get a few.
Yeah.
Once he does it, because of that self-pressure that he puts on, it's going to feel way better.
The tricky hole 7 is playing tricky as these guys have not quite played the hole the way they'd like. But James here, a chance at the birdie.
Sit.
No, that's going to roll. And that's going to roll a long way. Dang. So James for birdie from 55 now has par from 65.
Oh,
okay.
Boy.
What? That's one way to do
I'm
it.
sick of bogeys, man.
Yeah.
Look at this. Annie around. I thought that almost it looked like a layup out of his hand.
Yep.
And then it just kept going.
If you ever find yourself in a putt, if you're a player who likes to putt with Anheuser, or if you aren't a player who likes to putt with Anheuser, but you have an Annie putt, I think the trick to do there is exactly what James did. Try to make the disc miss on the right side.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do. We oftentimes we don't put the right angle on it, and so it never has a chance to get that full flight. James really committed and just caught the right side chains with that righty spin. Just sit right down. Beautiful par save. And just routine pars for the other 3. It's kind of the way you see this hole played very often, where you throw a good drive, you got to scramble. And James, the only person on our leaderboard right now who's actually lost spots. Everyone else that you see is out there making moves. Saturday at the majors is an amazing thing to watch.
Hole 8, par 4, 645 down the hill. These guys are going to want to throw a high turnover or a stalled sidearm to get to about right here. Anything passed into this area is considered amazing and great. But anywhere that you land on the fairway, it's going to be a tricky little upshot into a well-guarded green, just like this place kind of gives you on every hole.
You never guaranteed anything.
This is pushing. He's got to miss the backside of the fairway right there. But he's in there. He's going to have a route back there. Skinny, very skinny, or a big sidearm flex shot into the green.
Going FD3 there, and that's pretty typical speed. You'd like to see a lot of 9 speeds that are overstable. Isaac burning that one into the ground in just a great spot. Yesterday, his shot was so far up the fairway, I don't even think I've ever seen anyone in that quadrant. It just was a putter to the pin.
Well, if this gets clean, we might see one pretty far up there again.
Yeah, it's far up there, but that was still like
yeah,
outclassed by another 40 or 50 from Isaac yesterday.
I like this.
Yeah, what's nice about this one is it's tight.
Yep.
And it's just going to find... looks like he might be guarded by one of those pines there, but he did what he needed to. A little bit tricky ground play.
Well, that's as good as you can really throw it. Hey, he's making it look easy, folks. I mean, he's taking on a few trees on that right side, but he made that gap as big as possible. Even if he hits those, he's right at circle's edge, which he's been doing really, really well from.
Yeah, he's doing the thing. I mean, he's only really been in trouble since hole 11, round 1. He's really only been in trouble just on hole 5 this round. He didn't get himself in trouble at all in round 2.
There's that skinny little gap that he needs to hit.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Is this going to make it all the way?
Yep.
Great shot from Silas. That's a tough little place to be. James, by staying on the right side, gives himself the best wide open approach. He's going to go right side of this tree. No. Well, I guess technically it was the right side of the tree.
Good height.
I recall him making that putt from that similar spot last year on this very hole. And Niklas, just beautiful. 5 down now in the front.
I love how on his putting stroke, it's so slow but comes out with so much power. Like that feels like a more of a body motion from Silas and a more of an arm swing. With Niklas, it's so compact and comes out with so much heat.
Another birdie for our leader.
Slowly pulling away a little bit.
From the field, yeah.
Yeah, from the field.
But not from Niklas. And
No,
Niklas is just staying right there. They're definitely separating themselves from the people who aren't trying to win a major.
Oh, they're trying. It's just tough.
Yeah, they might be trying, but they're not trying as hard as these guys are. They're not trying as well.
Or trying too hard.
Gannon Burr, 9 under. He's doing some stuff, putting his name on the leaderboard for the first time at this event. We thought we'd see that as the #1 ranked power player, or the power rankings on UDISC.
Yeah.
Hole 9, par 4, 618 feet. It's on the shorter side of the par 4s, but the real tricky thing is after a good drive, you have got some decisions to make. There are several different gaps that you can take to try to get a putt, but they're all kind of tight. Objective #1, hit this tee shot.
And this tee shot is very tight. And this is just a really great angle to come in on.
And he's going to get across the road, and that is objective #1, check.
Doesn't look like he tries to do anything. Like he's not doing anything. When Isaac throws, there's a little power in there.
Mm-hmm.
When Niklas throws, it's all smooth. That's good.
I mean, but if you've got the power that Isaac has and the confidence to hit the gaps, then
do it.
Do it. I mean, he has been. It's been.
Well, with Niklas, I think he is throwing it as hard as he can.
Yeah.
It just
doesn't look right.
It's just so beautiful.
Right. And Silas, obviously, he's a guy who has got a ton of power. He gets through the gap on the right side.
Oh, man, this is striped.
James just got to avoid that guy, and he does. Right there next to Isaac.
They make
4
that.
pretty good drives. We're going to have some good looks for birdie, I would imagine. But look, even with Niklas's good drive, this is what he's left with.
That's fine.
Does pretty well.
Really well. That's so good.
Yeah, the level of play here at this event, it's been amazing to me. I mean, we would talk about predicted scores, and I would have said that the score that Isaac's sitting at now is pretty close to what I thought might win this thing, and we have a round and a half left.
Oh, leaky.
Okay.
Not great. I would consider that bad.
You got to be able to scramble from that position. That far up the fairway, you got to find one of the gaps. And Silas's tough round, even pars.
Yeah, he needs to make this. This is to end the 9 at least under par. He needed that one. He's going to have a real special back 9.
Yeah, I mean, a real special last 27. Oh, James is finally not perfect in the circle. And so Niklas, an opportunity to gain a stroke on the card, and more importantly, one on Isaac. And now he is only 2 back with a 6 under front 9 performance. And that's after missing 2 of the easiest holes on the front 9, 1 and 2.
Yeah, when watching him and Isaac play, you can definitely see how they're hitting the gaps with ease compared to everybody. The up shots are hitting the middle of the gaps, except for Isaac on this one. But if we watch previous holes, he's making it look pretty easy.
I don't understand how to do that. Like, the simplicity of it. It's like when I see them do it, it seems like, yeah, for sure, just be really smooth, and then it just rips out of your hand and it goes down the middle of the fairway. But it's just such incredible amounts of practice and precision, and just really hammering home the muscle memory.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're just doing it. And it's pretty impressive to watch as we take a look at that leaderboard. Some notable names making some good moves, and some new names and new faces are up there trying to get their name talked about. And it's been a lot of familiar names, but
Yesterday we saw a lot of rounds right around that 9 to 10 under range. I think this round, moving day, you're gonna see a handful of the 10 unders and a lot of other people kind of not blowing it, but leaking a little,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that is it for third round front 9. We are getting in the back half, the nitty gritty of the major championship. 9 more holes here in the third round, and then just one final round to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in just a bit.